Austrian authorities recently averted a potential tragedy by uncovering an alleged terror plot aimed at Taylor Swift's scheduled performances in Vienna. The 19-year-old suspect was apprehended in Ternitz, approximately an hour's drive from the 50,000-seat Ernst Happel Stadium, where Swift was set to perform on 3 consecutive nights. The discovery of chemical substances potentially linked to bomb-making in his home led to the evacuation of 60 surrounding households. In a related move, a second suspect was arrested in Vienna later the same day. The police have not disclosed their identity, citing the ongoing nature of the investigation. What has been confirmed, however, is that both suspects were radicalized online, with the 19-year-old reportedly pledging allegiance to the new ISIS leader just last month. This case highlights a chilling trend in Europe, where young people, often teenagers, are being drawn into extremist ideologies through the internet and social media. The alleged plot to target Swift's concerts is part of a broader and disturbing pattern observed by European counter-terrorism officials. As online platforms become breeding grounds for extremist recruitment, teenagers are increasingly becoming involved in terror-related activities. According to a study by terrorism expert Peter Neumann, teenagers accounted for nearly 2/3 of ISIS-related arrests in Europe over the past 9 months. The study, which examined 27 ISIS-linked attacks or disrupted plots since October of the previous year, revealed that out of 58 suspects, 38 were aged between 13 and 19. Neumann, a professor of security studies at King's College London, emphasized that the rise in teenage involvement in terror activities is a significant and alarming development. The rise in online radicalization has made it more difficult for law enforcement agencies to detect and prevent potential threats. Encrypted communication methods often shield these individuals from routine counter-terror surveillance. Austrian police noted that the communication of the suspects in the Vienna plot was likely conducted through encrypted channels, making it challenging to monitor and intercept their plans. This method of communication is increasingly being utilized by terrorist organizations like ISIS, which continues to pose a significant threat across Europe. The cancellation of all 3 of Taylor Swift's Vienna concerts, initially scheduled for August 7, 8, and 9, 2024, was a necessary measure to ensure public safety. The decision, while disappointing for fans, underscores the severity of the threat and the vigilance required to protect large public gatherings from potential terrorist attacks. This incident is not an isolated one. In recent months, there have been numerous cases across Europe involving teenagers who were arrested for planning or attempting terror attacks. In Austria, a 14-year-old girl from Montenegro was arrested in May after purchasing a knife and an axe, which she intended to use in an attack. Authorities found ISIS propaganda on her computer, further linking her to the extremist group. In France, an 18-year-old man of Chechen origin was indicted for terrorist criminal association for his alleged plans to target spectators during the Paris Olympics. Similarly, 2 teenagers in northeast and southern France were arrested in connection with an unclear terror plot, and a 16-year-old in southeastern France was arrested for researching how to make an explosives belt, potentially to be used in an attack during the Olympics. German police have also been active in thwarting potential terrorist activities involving teenagers. In April, authorities in Düsseldorf arrested 2 girls, aged 15 and 16, and a 15-year-old boy, all accused of planning a terror attack. Another case in May involved an 18-year-old man who was arrested for allegedly planning a knife attack on a synagogue in Heidelberg. These cases, along with the recent plot against Swift's concerts, underscore the ongoing and evolving threat posed by online radicalization, particularly among young people. The role of social media in these radicalization processes cannot be overstated. Platforms like TikTok have become tools for extremist recruiters who exploit algorithms to draw young users into isolated online bubbles where they are exposed to jihadist propaganda. Once inside these bubbles, teenagers are bombarded with extremist content, making them more susceptible to radicalization. ISIS, the Central Asian affiliate of ISIS, has been particularly active in targeting young teenagers. The group's recruitment efforts have been alarmingly successful, with even a small number of recruits being considered a significant achievement by the organization. European security officials are increasingly concerned about the evolving nature of the terror threat, the so-called directed terror threat, where more experienced or resourced recruiters guide young recruits from afar, has become a growing concern. This method allows terrorist organizations to carry out complex attacks without directly involving their top operatives, making it harder for authorities to prevent such incidents. The Vienna plot is a stark reminder of the dangers posed by these evolving tactics and the need for constant vigilance in the face of a rapidly changing threat landscape. In response to the growing threat, European counter-terrorism officials have been intensifying their efforts to track and disrupt potential plots. The recent arrests in Austria, Germany, and France are part of a broader strategy to prevent young people from being drawn into the clutches of extremist groups. However, the challenge remains daunting, as online radicalization continues to outpace traditional counter-terrorism methods. Austrian counter-terror police have also been focusing on the role of foreign influence in these plots. Last month, they detained 8 men and a woman for allegedly fundraising for ISIS. The suspects, originally from Chechnya in the Russian Federation, were found with laptops, cash, fake passports, and a vehicle, all of which were confiscated. Authorities are now considering revoking their Austrian residence permits as part of their crackdown on terrorist activities. As the investigation into the Vienna plot continues, European security agencies are likely to remain on high alert. The foiled attack on Taylor Swift's concerts is a sobering reminder of the persistent threat posed by terrorism in Europe and the importance of remaining vigilant in the face of these challenges.
Subscribe and like for more content from Current Pulse Hits.